the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aled.
Hello and welcome tonight. Senate approves President's request for an extension of state of emergency in northeastern states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe. House of Representatives may shove the President's powers, pushes to approve bills without the President's assent. Rights groups accuse oil giant Shell of manipulating oil spill investigations in Nigeria, say company's claims on oil pollution often untrue. Pakistan's Taliban named hardline commander Mullah Fazlullah as successor to former leader Hakimullah Mashood, killed in a drone attack.
On business news tonight, depositors of failed financial institutions receive up to 6.82 billion naira as at June this year.
And on sports news tonight, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets close in on a fourth title at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup as they lock horns with Mexico in the final.
I'm Linda Kibe from Abuja. Our big story tonight takes a look at the effects of the ASU strike on students, the parents, the society, and the nation's economy.
Well, the Senate has approved President Goodluck Jonathan's request for an extension of the state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states, northeast of Nigeria. In a unanimous voice vote, the lawmakers directed the service chiefs and the Minister of Foreign Affairs to appear before it to confirm the impact of the initial state of emergency in the affected states. The Senate had earlier received a report on the current state of security in the states from the President.
The Senate in plenary received a security report on the impact of initial 6 months of emergency rule in 3 northeastern states. However, the report could only be considered in a closed session in accordance with Order 136 of a Senate rule. For over 1 hour, the lawmakers considered the President's request for an extension of the state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states by another 6 months.
Those in favor that the Senate do now approve the request of Mr. President for the extension of state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states, and for the Senate to invite the service chiefs as well as the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs to appear before the Senate to brief the Senate on the performance of the state of emergency so far in these states. Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Despite the unanimous votes, some lawmakers want the military to review their strategies in the troubled states.
Like say the military don't ever leave the vicinity of major cities. They don't go into the bush in pursuit of the militants. So if they can maybe review their tactics.
In checkpoints, they have to be a bit relaxed, because checkpoints in the township, especially the capital, I think should be relaxed by now, so that people will go about their normal businesses.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is yet to consider the President's request for an extension of the emergency rule. The initial state of emergency expires on November the 12th.
Well, a motion seeking to allow President Goodluck Jonathan present the 2014 budget to the federal lawmakers on Tuesday next week led to a sharp disagreement today in the House of Representatives. A lawmaker, Ali Madaki, had raised a motion in which he drew attention to the poor implementation of the 2013 budget and questioned the need to receive a new budget. The motion led to a passionate debate and division among the lawmakers, but was, however, passed when it was put to vote.
May I move, Mr. Speaker, and I so move that pursuant to Order 19, Rule 217 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, that this House do admit Mr. President and his entourage to a joint sitting with the Senate on Tuesday.
This motion is usually a formality, a motion to admit President Goodluck Jonathan into the chamber for the presentation of the 2014 budget. But this motion had barely been moved before a point of order was raised.
As we speak, the implementation of 2013 budget is less than 40% as we speak. Mr. Speaker, we must not turn the budget presentation into an annual ritual.
This led to a debate.
Mr. Speaker, no motion or no opinion is strong enough to stop the president. Let us allow the president come and do his responsibility. Then we come back and discuss the budget.
We cannot accept that presentation now until we are satisfied with the implementation of the ongoing financial year budget. And therefore, the presentation can be delayed.
The Speaker, however, gave a ruling and put the question to vote.
Now, therefore, my ruling is that, Honorable Madaki, the House has taken note of the observations you have raised in your personal explanation. I'll therefore do what I have been required by the rules of the House to do. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it.
Meanwhile, the Senate has deferred consideration of the report of its Joint Committee on Finance and Appropriation on the 2014 to 2016 Medium-Term Fiscal Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. The Senate says this is because the House of Representatives is yet to receive its own copy of the report. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Now worried that over 36 bills passed by the National Assembly are still awaiting assent by the President, the House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Rules and Business to review the bills and determine those the Parliament can pass without the President's assent. Following a motion on the matter presented by a lawmaker, Yakuba Dogara, the House noted that the bills have been transmitted to President Goodluck Jonathan for assent, but are still pending in his office.
Concerned that allowing the bills to stagnate without any indication from the President as to whether he assents or withholds assent to the bills is a manifest violation of the provision of Section 58, subsection 1(4) of the Constitution, which makes it mandatory for the President to, within 30 days of the presentation of such bills to him, signify that he assents or that he withholds assent. Alarmed that the refusal by the President to perform his constitutional responsibilities and powers have denied the public the benefits of new legislations as they continue to struggle with obsolete laws and, in some cases, even no enabling legal framework.
Well, it looks like a busy moment at the National Assembly as the Senate has deferred the briefing of the state of the nation's aviation industry to Thursday, November the 14th. The Minister of Aviation, Mr. Stella Odua, was due to appear before the Senate in plenary today to brief them on the state of the industry. However, due to the absence of the Senate President, who had personally requested to preside over the session with the Minister, the lawmakers approved the deferment. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation, Hope Uzodinma, dismissed any insinuations that the lawmakers are plotting to give the minister a clean bill of health.
No, what has happened that she was supposed ordinarily to brief us today, appear before the Senate on the issue actually in question is the last crash of aviation associated airline crash. And because today being Thursday, the Senate President is leading Nigerian delegation to Dubai for the finance of our junior eagles, and it became very necessary that we will postpone the minister's visit to enable the Senate President to come back, preside, and the required number of senators present, because it is a very important issue that will allow the full participation of all senators. And I think it became very necessary, and that was what we just did. And we did it in good faith. I don't think there's anything to hide or ulterior to it.
Now, the Regional Center for International Commercial Arbitration in Lagos has renewed its collaboration with the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes based in Washington. At the signing of the renewal documents, the director of the Regional Center, Yunus Odiri, says the relationship will continue to popularize the institution of arbitration as a means of settling disputes arising from economic and commercial transactions.
These men and women are lawyers, arbitrators, legal counsels, trade investment advisors. They believe that there are benefits for Nigeria in the collaboration between the International Center for Settlement of Investment and the Regional Center for International Commercial Arbitration in Lagos.
Whenever ICSID has an ICSID arbitration that concerns investors, that might have disputes arising from wherever, even Nigeria here, they can choose from the collaboration agreement to have the seat of arbitration held here in Lagos, in this center, and that is a plus for us.
This collaboration will now enable the center become part and parcel of ICSID, so that parties would not need to go to Washington, which is the headquarters of ICSID. They would rather come here and settle their dispute.
Not just that, the collaboration will provide an opportunity for members from the regional center to participate in international investment workshops, as well as learn best practices in international dispute settlements.
What we've witnessed today is a huge benefit to Nigeria. And as an international arbitrator, I am exceedingly excited that we have taken this step forward.
In a lecture on ICSID 101, Secretary General of the international body, Mekina, confirmed they are ready to work with the regional center and aid with developmental programs.
Today there is a significant increase in international investment cases, probably reflecting the fact that there is a lot more international investment. Citizens and companies from one country going into another country, setting up businesses, building infrastructure, that kind of issue. And sometimes when there is a dispute, the parties will then want an impartial dispute settlement mechanism, and that's where ICSID services come into play, and we're available to help the parties come to a resolution.
ICSID is a member of the World Bank Group. It has over 100 countries signed to its convention, with Nigeria as the first country to sign in 1965.
Well, in part two, after the break, I'll be joined by Linda Akigbe from our Abuja studios. Plus, a joint patrol team discovers illegal refinery on the bank of River Niger at Budo village in Kogi State. That's in a moment. Stay with us.